All right, it's time for head gasket replacement. So I got my tool set out. I've got the car up on jacks, easier on your back. Head gasket should be arriving tomorrow, so try to get as much work as I can. First thing is disconnect the battery. Don't need any surprises. So the reason I'm doing the head gasket is it's just leaking oil out of the side of it. So not that. Yeah, it just leaks oil from the timing cover, upper timing cover here, and then down here where it's mating underneath, and mostly from back here. They all seem to do that. So I have to take this off, I believe probably take the fan off, release the tension on the belt, take the fan off, take this off, take the distributor cover off, remove all the spark plugs, or remove all the plugs and wires. This thing here, unloosen all of these things here, loosen all the intake manifold bolts, various stuff. You know, some people they disconnect the exhaust from down here and need to leave the intake manifold on and take the whole thing up like that. I don't want to do that. I've done it before, and it's easier for me to just pull just the head up and leave this stuff. Probably this one might come off. This one, just the studs usually come out on it. Anyway, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get it going. About an hour later, got the fan shroud off. I got all the spark plug wires off. Got the distributor cover, rotor. Just got to take this thing off right here. Then this will come off. And I think a valve cover is going to come off next. Boom, boom, boom. Hopefully I don't have to take the fan off. I might have to, but maybe not. But we'll see. About a half hour later. So, got the timing cover off, valve cover off. Now I think the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the spark plugs and get this to top dead center. Be able to tell when all the marks line up correctly. And once I get it to top dead center, then I'll work on this side, unloosening all these bolts, then this shield here that's hooked up to here in the block. Undo that. I think there's a pipe here. Transmission dipstick tube. I think there's something else down there. Possibly this EGR pipe. Pull this one off. Climb under there and undo the flange bolts, if I remember right. I think last time I pulled all these out and the studs came with them. It made it easy to just be able to pull up on this side, and it's just free. Yeah. And then try to keep it organized. All your tools, every time you mess it up, put it back. That way it's so much easier the next day that you work on it. And all these are all from like TV dinner things, you know. Save all that. And just keep it organized and put all the big stuff back there on a shelf in the atrium so I don't have to look at all that, just all this crap. I put all the small parts here. Here's the source of the leak for the upper timing cover. I think it's a horrible design, but it has a gasket that goes along here and it likes to leak. So you got to seal it up really good. I've tried everything, and about the only thing that works is Hylomar Blue. It's kind of costly. Now it used to be $10 for a small tube. Now it's gone up to about $15, $18. And they use it in racing engines because they take the engines apart so much. I think it's like a non-hardening formula. And you put it on and stuff, and it's great. It holds up for about 6 months, then it starts leaking again every single time, you know. So it's something you got to live with, I guess. Okay, it's now about 6 p.m. here in Southern California. Temperature is 75 degrees. Now we're up for let's see, what is it, Sunday? So starting Tuesday, heat waves coming in. It'll probably be 100 degrees here. So I'm going to try to get as much done as I can. But I'm lazy, so I'm going to go sit down and watch TV. Have a nice cold beverage. And try not to stress out. And we'll get it back together. Cool. And don't forget to cover the head when you're not around it so debris doesn't blow up and get dirt and all these lifters and all this fun stuff that's in here. We are done. Next day, I got the spark plugs out. Makes it easier. You're gonna have to take them out anyways to get it to top dead center. Top dead center is turn the crank. All right. I have to take the fan off. No big deal. So do you see, let's see this mark right here, this little dot? Yeah, get that little dot lined up with this right here, okay? And then down below, let's see if I can get it, I don't know. Kind of hard to see. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Let's get some. Right down here, there's a point. Right down in here, there's the flywheel, and there's marks. And what you want to do, I got this stuff. What you want to do is get it right there to that top dead center mark, which is this one here. These are the end of the numbers. There's more numbers on this side, but you want it right there. Get that lined up and get the dot lined up on the camshaft, and then you're good to go. Then you're good to go. And you just leave it like that. Now, what's next on the menu? Let's see. I can pretty much undo the tensioner for the chain. I have to get that sprocket off. And you can't drop that chain in there, or else you'll be in trouble. Maybe not, but probably. So I'm going to secure that chain with some wire. I usually secure it, and I put a piece of PVC across the hood and hold it up so that it stays on that bottom sprocket. Yeah, so the tensioner's right there. Big old giant Allen looking thing. And that's what tensions the chain. Okay, so I decided to work on the exhaust manifolds before the cam sprocket thing, where I'd have something laying here holding the chain up. It'd get in my way with my elbows. So I got all the bolts off except there's 2 studs. A lot of these, they just there you go, they just come off like that. I don't know why, but I know I've had all the studs out. In the previous head gasket, I took all the studs and put them on a wire wheel on a drill press and clean them all up, so everything is real clean. Everything comes apart pretty easy because it's been apart before. So now I'm at the point where there's these weird little shields, 10 millimeter. It's about, I don't know, 3 or 4 bolts on each little shield. There's one that attaches under here. You got to remove. And then there's one back behind here that you got to remove. And then there's these bolts. Those are kind of hard to get to. It's not a whole lot of room, but if I remember last time, I got this one out of the way and did it here and then just pulled it off. And I don't remember what I did to the back one, because I got to get that, either I got to get the exhaust manifold off or I got to get the stud out of there. There's enough room right there to put a vice grip. I might try that, but I don't want to mess it up too bad. They're pretty strong. They're steel. And then if I didn't have any studs on here, then this side would just lift right up, the head. Then you got this thing here, 6 millimeter. So 6 Allen. Yeah, it's a 6 millimeter Allen. I think that's how you call it. But it's always good to have a couple of these bars that you can put to break them free. If yours hasn't been apart, everything's going to be hard to get off. So soak everything overnight with some WD-40 or something, you know. Luck. I forget what the name of that stuff was. Just some kind of penetrating oil. That's it. Just to get everything loose. I should have steam cleaned the engine off. The underneath is just a big oily mess. I might still be able to do that. Just wrap the top with plastic and go under there and blast it so it's clean, because it is disgusting. Anyway, so the next step is get this one off of here. All right, got the first one off. That's all it is. And there's all those little bolts that are underneath you gotta get to. Then I got the one of the studs out with the vice grip. Once I loosen these main bolts, I was able to pull it, and you have enough room on, let's see, on that part right there. You can get some vice grips on there. If yours are stuck, don't even mess with it. Just get everything off, all the exhaust. At least this is easier than there's this one pipe. This little pipe has been handy. I've used this thing. It's just electrical pipe. I get different size pipes. I have one that's a ceiling fan, a down rod that I can stick on things and break things loose without, injuring myself. So yeah, so just get this one here off. Got this two 10 millimeters on this thing. Then all these hose clamps, I kind of turn them around. Yeah.
Is this the Leclerc?
Got interrupted by the door-to-door salesman. Solar panels. No thanks. Okay, so yeah, I'll just get this thing off. Could have a heat wave here starting tomorrow. It could be in the hundreds, so I'm gonna work all night on this while it's cool. And then this back one here, I'm gonna put the vice grips on that one and give it one more try. That way this entire side will be free. And then the next thing will be the chain, sprocket, and then the exhaust manifold bolts. That's not too bad. Okay, several more hours of work. Probably about an hour and a half more. So I got this side all undone here. Could not get that stud out, so I just did both exhaust manifolds. I think they're 13 millimeter. Big long extensions. So got that done. Now I was working on this right here. So I've got just a stick with some wire holding it up. Take a picture of this so you know how it goes back together. Then there's three, whatever they are, stars, I think a T30. Make sure they're good tools. I almost stripped one because I had an old tool in it. Whatever. And release the tensioner. It's right here. Got that out. I had to undo one big long bolt that holds the air pump in right here. Then loosen the bottom one and then push this aside so you can get, let's see, so you can get this one here, big sucker. It's a, it says H12 on it. And then once you get that out, then you have another huge sucker. It says H17, and it's under pressure. When this comes out, it's got a spring, so it's going to come out real fast. And then once you're inside, if you're getting oily, once you're inside, or once you have it off, then you have a kind of a weird shape in there. And that's just a big screw thing that you back out to release that pin for the tensioner. And that's what this big giant one does. Takes that out. Now, so I got this suspended. This is loose, but you have to get this. There's a pin, I believe it's right in here. This is a valve cover screw. Last time it just came right out. There's some kind of a weird pin thing that has come out. It's threaded on the inside. I'll look at my instructions again. There's something about putting two nuts on here and twisting one and getting it to back out like that. You gotta be careful. This is all plastic, so you don't want to mess it up. Once that out, then this the chain, I guess this whole thing will come out a little easier. I can't get the gear out right now. Once that gear is out, then I'm all done from the back all the way up to here. And then tomorrow we'll finish this, and then we'll do, I think, I don't know if there's 8 or 9 of these. I think they're, I don't know what size bolts. They look kind of big. Get all those out. Sensors disconnect, sensor disconnect, water hose back there. Water hose disconnect back there. Or maybe it's just a some kind of a lifting bracket that's over here. I think I gotta take, I'm not sure, but I think I gotta take that off. And then I can undo all the bolts, pull the head off tomorrow. Cool. Okay, pulling this pin out. So this is a, that's the bolt for a valve cover. Then I've got a big washer here. I got a loose nut right there. You screw it in. Then you tighten that, and then you turn this. And that pulls hopefully. That pulls the pin out because the inside of the pin is threaded. There. And there it is. That's the name of that tune. Make sure you cover, even when you take these bolts off this gear, make sure that you have all this sealed up, because down below any parts fall down that hole, you're screwed. All right. Yeah, screw this inner tensioner all the way out like that. That way it gives you a lot of slack with the chain so that you can get the gear out. So the gear is now out. So what I have left, I've got a spider hanging off of my hat. Unloosen, just start on this side and just work your way back. It's going to be supposedly really hot here today, beginning of a heat wave. For some reason, everything turns into a mess towards the end. Everything is just, I get fed up and it's just a mess. But there's that. Yeah, I think I slept 4 hours last night. Don't know why. Yeah, so there's a few brackets and things that you might have to move for to get to some of these bolts that are down here. There's some that are kind of hiding. I think cold start injector one over there. Yeah, we'll get around to it. I just remember the days where when I was working, I'm retired now, and when I was younger, in my 30s and stuff, and you had to fix your car and be to work the next day, and you'd spend the whole night on your car fixing it so you could make it to work. So it was rush, 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 rush. And I would haul butt and get things done. Now I just screw up. I go, okay, it looks good. I'm going to go sit down for, I'm going to go watch TV. But it's nice when you can take your time. That way, you kind of do a more thorough job. Couldn't imagine being a professional mechanic and doing this. I don't know, they probably takes them like 4 hours. It's in, it's out, it's done. You have all the right tools and you have a lift, and you know, that kind of helps. Alrighty. All right, so I've got, these are all the bolts that you take off. So you start over on this side here. There's the water hose. I bought another one. It's big on one side and small on the other, and they sell them online. It's right here. So when you go to lift the head off, this will give you some problems if it's all stuck. So just take a razor blade and just slice it and peel it off, because there's just a hose, metal to here, it stops, then metal to here and it stops. So that'll free that up. And you got how many bolts? How many is ever in here? Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of these long bolts. And then you move along, and then there's a cold start injector. A couple of these right here. I had to cut this one with slot last time because it's stripped, but yeah. Cold start injector, pull off the other stuff. There's, I don't think there's another bolt down there. Hopefully there isn't. I just see a rubber pipe. Have to double check. Then you get all the way along here. It starts getting easier than down here. There's 2 more of these big guys here for this, the water inlet for the heater hose, or for the heater, and you got to get that off because there's some other little pipe hooked onto it. So that frees that up. So everything along here, there's one bolt I just left in. It's loose. It slides all the way out, but it won't stop the head from coming out. But there's it stops because of this fuel distributor, but that's okay. So other than that, now I believe I'll cut that hose and just 14 head bolts, and this is what you want to get. 12 millimeter. I think this is a 12 point. Anyways, that one's always it's always fun to use that, the crowbar, loosen all that stuff, and then I'll just be able to pick it up. Just pick the whole thing straight up. Put a big blanket right here. Big blanket, maybe a piece of plywood or a big blanket. Then you pick it up with all your might, and you pick it up and just set it there, and then move it off to where you're gonna clean it up and do work, whatever you're gonna do. Anyway, so it is now 87 degrees, and I'm gonna take a break, then get the bolts out, loosen the head, wait for my son. He's sleeping in today. Wait for my son to help me if I need it. Usually I do it by myself, but you know, never hurts to have an extra hand. Okay, gasket kit just arrived, FedEx from Arizona. Let's see what I got. So here's that hose. Should be bigger on one side, but I guess you just force it. Double check it before you cut that thing off. What else I got? Valve cover gasket. Burling. I forget how much all this stuff was. It wasn't too bad. What's this? This is a camshaft seal, so I have 2 of them in case one gets messed up installing it, because they're real easy to mess up installing it. So I guess the head gasket's underneath all this stuff. Comes with, there's that seal for the upper timing cover, which is great. There's all the extra stuff. I forget what this is for. I've never had to use that. Yeah, this was $138 for all this. Not too bad. I mean, there's all the head bolts, new ones. I just get new ones because they're pretty cheap. I mean, I think it was like Camshaft Seal, $4.89. Head gasket bolts. Oh, they're $55 for 14 of them. They're $1.99 a piece. That's not bad. Last time they were like, $3 a piece, if not more. So it's been cut in half. One thing, right? After COVID and all that. Head gasket, $42. I just got a Victor Rhines. Valve cover gasket, $7.99. A Euro coolant hose, bypass hose, 99 cents. That's pretty cheap. Yeah, I just decided to go with the Victor Rhines again. Last time I went to the dealer and it was like $137. This was $42. Yeah, $137. I go, oh great. It's it won't leak. It's reinforced. No, it'll leak just as bad as the cheap one. So this time I said screw that. So after talking to my neighbor, lives across the street over there, is a professional mechanic for 45 years probably, and he's done a lot of head gasket jobs and stuff. And I told him that this car, it's got a kind of a design flaw where after a while the gasket starts to leak oil. He goes, every head gasket that he installs, he sprays the front and the back of it with this stuff, this copper spray. And Permatex, about $12. And that's what I'm going to do this time, because I'm sick and tired of this head gasket going like that, leaking oil. It could leak oil like that for another 10 years, but it just makes a freaking mess. I don't like cars that leak oil, because then I have to put a pan under it because of homeowners associations, or they'll give you a ticket. Give you a ticket, you got oil on the driveway, clean it up, handle it. So I'm handling it. All right, I got the head off, lifted it up by myself. I did it. Just get a hold of here like this and just pull up and get it to unloosen. Inspecting everything here. Seems like there should be another one of these here. Might be in the head. Probably is. Look at these pistons here. And I'll be able to clean some of it off. Oh. There's the spot that likes to leak, the notorious leakster. Let's water it. Yeah, those 3 passages right there. Well, one of them, let's see, is a head bolt. So it'd be these 2 here, I imagine. And the gasket's not on there. You're looking with the gasket left. So we'll clean all this out. We'll check it for flatness. Oh, my side. So here's the gasket right here. This is the corner that likes to leak. So let's see. So these are head bolts. Head bolt, yeah. And these right here, I don't know which one is oil and which one is water. I think I'll take a screenshot of that. Still a strong gasket, it's just damn thing's leaking oil everywhere. So that's the area in question. All right. Ugh, gross. Okay, so that's the exhaust side. Trying to see where a dowel is supposed to go. Like one here, I don't see a dowel. I see a dowel here.
Hi.
Hi there. Oops. Neighbors. Okay, so now tomorrow I'm going to clean the head up. I've got a handheld steam cleaner and I'm just going to steam it all. Clean it up a little bit, and we're going to measure the flatness with a straight edge that I bought. And then I'll tack this and clean it all out with a steam cleaner, clean the whole side of the block. There's always a little bit of oil laying on a shelf down, straight down there in the block. And I always wonder where it's coming from because I never see any oil leaking with an inspection mirror along the bottom side of the block here. So I think it's the oil filter mounting bracket gasket that leaks a little bit and goes down there. Doesn't really hurt anything, but I always wondered why. Okay, so I guess this will be the end of part 1, and then part 2 will be cleaning and installing. Alrighty.